Welcome to Movie Recaps with Brian. Subscribe below for daily recaps. Today, we're recapping The Proposal, directed by Anne Fletcher. Margaret Tate, played by Sandra Bullock, is a high-powered, no-nonsense editor-in-chief at a prestigious New York City publishing house. Known for her cold and tyrannical demeanor, she's universally feared by her employees, including her long-suffering assistant, Andrew Paxton, played by Ryan Reynolds. One day, Margaret learns that her U.S. visa has expired and she's facing imminent deportation back to Canada. Desperate to retain her job and status, she impulsively announces that she is engaged to Andrew, much to his shock. Caught off guard, Andrew initially refuses but ultimately agrees to go along with the fake engagement, bargaining for a promotion to editor and the publication of a manuscript he's passionate about. They head to a meeting with immigration officer Mr. Gilbertson, played by Dennis O'Hare, who is immediately suspicious of the sudden engagement and warns that any fraud could lead to imprisonment and fines. Determined to appear convincing, Margaret agrees to accompany Andrew to his hometown of Sitka, Alaska, for his grandmother Annie's, played by Betty White, 90th birthday celebration. Upon arriving in Sitka, Margaret is surprised to discover that the Paxton family is not only close-knit, but extremely wealthy and well-known in the community. Margaret, unused to warmth and familial connection, finds herself thrown into unfamiliar territory, especially as Grandma Annie enthusiastically pushes for a traditional Alaskan wedding, complete with a celebration at the family's scenic estate. Andrew's parents, Joe, played by Craig T. Nelson, and Grace, played by Mary Steenburgen, are welcoming, though Joe remains wary and openly questions Andrew's motives, suspecting the engagement is a career move. As Margaret spends more time with Andrew and his family, participating in local traditions, bonding with Grace, and even having a hilariously awkward moment with Annie during a spiritual ritual in the woods, she begins to open up. She reveals the loneliness beneath her hardened exterior, including the loss of her parents at a young age and the solitary life she's led since. Andrew, seeing this vulnerable side of Margaret, starts to connect with her on a more personal level, and a genuine romantic tension begins to build between them. However, their scheme starts to unravel when Gilbertson shows up in Sitka to conduct a surprise investigation. He interrogates the couple separately, trying to catch them in a lie, and privately warns Andrew that he could face serious consequences if the engagement is proven false. Meanwhile, tensions flare between Andrew and Joe over Andrew's decision to work in publishing rather than join the family business. Joe's disapproval and Margaret's growing guilt lead her to reconsider the deception. On the day of the wedding, with guests assembled and the ceremony underway, Margaret abruptly calls it off. She confesses the truth, that she forced Andrew into the fake engagement to avoid deportation, and apologizes to the family before hastily returning to New York. Though heartbroken, Andrew stays behind in Sitka, briefly grappling with his own feelings and his father's expectations. Realizing he has truly fallen in love with Margaret, Andrew flies back to New York. He storms into her office in front of the entire staff, publicly confronts her, and proposes, not for a green card, but because he wants to be with her for real. Margaret, surprised and moved, accepts his proposal. The couple informs Gilbertson of the change in their relationship status, implying they are now actually engaged. Gilbertson, exasperated but satisfied that the relationship now seems legitimate, backs off, this time with real affection and laughter between them. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe below to watch more movie recaps with Brian. Comment below which movie you'd like to see recapped next.